So now we're talking about a manga that I am really interested in, but sadly has not been released in the US as of this time. We're talking about the Kinnikuman manga. Now, if you're not familiar with Kinnikuman, there were a set of games released on the Famicom that we got over here on the NES. I believe we got it as Muscle or Muscle Man. There were a line of figures that we got at the time as well. We did not get the anime at all in any way, which was odd. But we did end up getting the Kinnikuman Nisei 2 or Kinnikuman Nisei, the sequel to Kinnikuman as Ultimate Muscle. And many of you around my age, I'm 27, probably remember it airing on 4Kids. And some of you may have even, like myself, gotten the PlayStation 2 and the Game Boy Advance game because you're fans of pro wrestling. So when you saw that they were superhuman, which if you're a fan of comic book characters and pro wrestlers combined, you fell in love with the show. And thankfully, I was able to get all of the Ultimate Muscle manga. Still have not been able to get through it. Probably now's a good time, but sadly I don't have a lot of free time, even though it is the time of free time for some people. And when it comes to the video games, they even had the PS2 one had voiceover work, which is funny to think about the fact that the 4Kids voiceover work is immortalized in that game. I don't think it was bad voiceover work, but it still was in the game. So there was a new manga that came out. It's not super duper new, but it was new when I found out about it a while back in Japan that we sadly haven't gotten yet, and it is a sequel to the original Kinnikuman, doing what a lot of American productions have done where I don't know if he's ignoring the fact that he has a son. If his son is like, "Come on, Dad, what are you doing?" He's like, "I'm being Kinnikuman, leave me alone." But either way, though, it does seem like it is one of those, oh, it's a sequel to the original, ignoring the newer sequels. So very much like a Halloween. Tremors, I think, was trying to do that with their show. And sadly, some other shows or movies are not coming to mind, but I know a bunch of others have done that as well. And so the Kinnikuman manga that is being released in Japan, by the way, still being released by the original creators. The original creators, Yude Tamago, are the duo, are actually still working on this. They are extending their hiatus because of everything going on in the world right now. So the manga was supposed to come back. The break began on April 20th and was supposed to end on May 18th, but of course, I'm assuming due to the state of emergency that happened in Japan, they most likely said, we're not gonna do this, which all the power to them. Hopefully it comes back in the near future, but I do think that, like many things that have been delayed right now, it's probably, this is just my speculation, probably going to come out in early 2021, and hopefully Viz actually ends up releasing this in the US. I mean, it would be nice if they also released the original Kinnikuman. I'm sure that's probably why they wouldn't release this, but it would be nice if not Viz and some other company released big editions or omnibuses of the Kinnikuman series. So either way, I want to talk about the fact that Yude Tamago actually mentioned themselves that after talking with Shueisha, they decided to put the manga on hiatus, and then during the hiatus, Shueisha posted a previous one-shot manga and other works by the duo for free, which is nice. Again, of course, all in Japanese, I would imagine. And the duo told their fans to knock out the virus with our friendship power, which is like, it's nice, I mean, it's not a vaccine, but it's nice, it's cute, it's sweet. I mean, it feels good, makes you feel good in the heart part of your heart. That's a real thing, right? I'm not a doctor, but there's a heart part of your heart, right? Like the heartiest part? I don't know. I should probably stop being stupid. Either way, though, it's interesting because Yude Tamago was releasing this manga for free on their website in 2011. And again, they just went back to the story. As I was saying before about the story, they went back to where they left it in 1987, which is nuts. That they just kind of continued the story from there. Very Dragon Ball Super-esque, I should say. Not acknowledging GT or the last part of Dragon Ball with Oob. Just saying, you know what? When it comes to Oob, we'll get there eventually. But so much other cool stuff happened. We'll just get there eventually. Don't know if they're ever going to acknowledge GT was a thing. But either way, they're like, we'll just do this whole cool stuff with Super. So, yeah, in a sense, this is what they're doing with Kinnikuman. So, yeah, again, it would be really nice if Viz somehow managed to release this in the US. But as of right now, of course, it needs to be released and finished up in Japan. So hopefully it comes back sooner rather than later. If you've followed the series like I have, I didn't follow it on the NES as a kid because that was a bit before my time. But when it came out through 4Kids, I was like, whoa, this is weird. And I didn't know about the big battle stuff in Japan with live action wrestlers who also dress up in superhero and supervillain costumes. I didn't know about that. So at the time I was like, this is so interesting. Never really saw something like this before. And I would imagine that it was inspired initially by, 70s Kinnikuman. But still, when it came to the Ultimate Muscle series, again, that's how I found it. So if that's how you found it, tell me down below. If this is your first time hearing about it and it interests you, tell me that too. I want to hear your comments about the story in the comment section down below.